let's do Tulsi, because who knows, she could be getting a slot on, something's opened up on Fox News, and she's been angling, and she's got to go hard. And here is former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. This is a video she posted to Twitter from her show, Tulsi Gabbard Show, reacting to a recently released study that shows a marked increase in trans children receiving mastectomies. Now, I would be very curious about this study. Like
the actual numbers?
Increase, yes, and the ages.
Well, notice that she does list some numbers here, but she doesn't list raw numbers, just percentages.
Exactly.
Right,
So you can have a 300% increase if you go from like 4 to 12.
Yeah. And this is something that I'm really excited about, because in this office, we have increased the staff.
This week.
Just this week.
Wow.
By over, what is it, like 30 some odd percent? Yeah. It's not 25%, right? Because we went
3, right?
Right.
It's a
but from 2 weeks ago, we increased by 100%.
100%.
Which, I mean, something's crazy going on if you look at that.
100% increase in staff.
Bizarre.
How can we all fit in here?
It's the Majority Report mind virus.
If it continues to grow at that rate, we're going to have 1,000 people in this office.
As opposed to 4. But here is Tulsi Gabbard.
According to a research paper that was recently published to the Journal of the American Medical Association Pediatrics, show that there has been a 389% increase in children receiving mastectomies from 2016 through 2019. I want to say that again. Children receiving mastectomies.
All right, pause it just for 1 second, because I would just like to say that don't think it's common practice, but breast augmentation happens for children under 18.
Oh, without a doubt.
Also, breast reduction happens.
Yes.
People get mastectomies.
Right?
People get mastectomies for health reasons.
Yeah. And we've talked about other cosmetic procedures like rhinoplasties happen more than you might think for kids underage, but they have no problem with that.
Receiving mastectomies from 2016 through 2019. I want to say that again. Children receiving mastectomies. The UCLA School of Law's Williams Institute published a study that found the number of transgender youth in America has doubled in just the past 5 years. And when you look at these statistics, you got to realize that this is not an accident. This didn't just happen. This is very intentional, and it's the consequence of this radical agenda that is being pushed on our kids. They're rejecting the existence of objective reality by rejecting this most fundamental truth of the differences between a biological male and female. Now, even as there are no long-term studies on the effects of these dangerous treatments on our kids, those in power in government and so-called medical professionals continue to push them. Many of the standard protocols that they are pushing include puberty
for 1 second. And just to also be clear here. Here we have someone, and I guess like she was trained like in the Air Force, right? Is she Air Force?
Yeah, let me just double check.
Here we have someone who is trained to how to kill people in the Air Force, complaining that
she was Army.
Professional, medically trained doctors don't understand objective reality. They don't know what they're doing. But she does. And we should also, just so you know what these numbers, 5.5% of those numbers that she's talking about were under the age of 14. It is not clear that they were performed, if those surgeries were performed for reasons of trans. We don't know. In 2016, there were approximately, it's weird that a study would say approximately, but 100 adolescents underwent gender-affirming chest reconstruction surgery. This is according to a research letter, we should say, that was published in JAMA. And I don't know what a research letter is, but that also sounds a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a peer-reviewed study, but nevertheless. And 3 years later, they purport to argue that it soars to 489. It's weird that in 2016 there was approximately a certain number of people, but they knew down to the one, 489, 3 years later. The vast majority of those were 17 years old, those people.
I knew someone who had breast reduction surgery when they were 16. So there you go. But like, it just, I mean, the numbers that we're talking about here, and we saw Matt Walsh called out about this, and then Joe Rogan, probably because his legal team was like, you gotta put some facts out there after the whole litter box thing, pulled up the Reuters statistics on this. In 2021, about 42,000 children and teens across the United States received a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, nearly triple the number in 2017. So that's some of the data that Reuters cites. But the triple, like you could say, that's the triple figure. It's expanding so rapidly. And then you just see the number is 42,000 in a country of over 350 million people. And I don't know what number of those are children. But like, there's a reason that she doesn't cite the raw numbers, even from this seemingly somewhat dubious study. It's because it makes it sound much scarier when you say percentages.
Yeah, I don't know which. This is a different study, I think, from Journal of American Medical Association. But key points: is chest dysphoria, distress about breasts, more common among transmasculine youth who have not had chest reconstruction compared to those who have undergone this? In this cohort study, chest dysphoria was significantly higher in the non-surgical versus the post-surgical cohort. Among the non-surgical cohort, 94% perceived chest surgery as very important. Among the post-surgical cohort, serious complications were rare, and 67 of 68 reported it an absence of regret.
Yeah, there we go. And I just like, do we have to pull up the study about the chart about left-handedness every time we hear this kind of crap with the right? It's like, what
left-handedness up 300%.
I know, from 1880 to 1945, and wow, that coincidentally coincided with people stopping associating left-handedness with being infected by a demonic force. So that's what happened there. It's not some agenda. It's societal acceptance, which they're beating back against by pretending it's an agenda.
And also, just to be clear, I'm looking at the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. 65,000 cosmetic surgical procedures performed in children and people ages 13 to 19 in 2015. 65,000. Now, if they're really concerned about that, people's the nose jobs, butchers.
I bet there's a higher regret rate on some of these plastic surgery for cosmetic reasons than there is like anything I've seen for trans surgery.
Oh, in 2003, I'm seeing 223 cosmetic procedures were performed on patients 18 years of age or younger. Almost 40,000 were surgical procedures. I mean, but they're so concerned about the objective reality of that in some way, like you can have surgery as long as it doesn't mess with this socially constructed gender that we say is objective reality.
Yeah. I would guess that cosmetic surgery has increased by many percentage points since that time period just in general.